Hi guys, good evening. Hello.
Yeah,
Good
Sham, we
evening.
can
Yeah, hello, sir.
able to hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks for the response. Let me share this time. Yeah. You're going to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me start. Okay. So the next topic is very important topic, guys, pipelines. Okay. So in the real-time scenario, most of the cases you are going to work on the pipeline zone. Okay. So what is meant by pipeline is nothing but so from one flow to the another flow. For example, you are going to check out the code. From there, you want to build the code. You want to scan the code. Test cases, you want to run it. Next, deploy the code. Okay, so these are all the different kind of phases which will be involved in the DevOps cycle. So first of all, we will check out the code. So which type of project it is. So we are going to check out the code. So once checkout is code, so we need to build the code. We need to scan the code. If you want to perform the test cases, we can perform the test cases. So finally, we are going to deploy the code. Okay, so this is the overall role of a DevOps engineer. So we are not working on the development side, but as a DevOps engineer, we need to process the entire flow. So this processing the entire flow, instead of having a different things, like if you want to check out the code, so we require a source code management. In order to build the code, so we require a build integration tool or build automation tools. Like build tools, we require it. So based upon the project, based upon the programming language, so we require the build tool. Same thing if you want to scan the code. Scanning the code is nothing but so finding the vulnerabilities in the code and any compilation issues, any the developers are not properly writing the code, not the proper the standardization, it has been written. Okay, so what we can do? So we can scan the code also. Okay, so for scanning the code, so we are going to use the scanner tool. We can call it as a sonar. Okay, so Sonar Cube is one of the tool which help us to scan your entire code. Okay, so next thing is if you want to perform the test cases will be written by the developer. So using the test commands, we can also perform the test cases. So finally, we are going to deploy the code. So these are the multiple stages we are involved in it. So these things we are going to do, we can do via two ways. So one is two pipelines we are going to do it. So one is declarative, another one is scripted pipelines. Okay, so they will ask most of the interview questions. So have you worked on the pipeline setups? Have you written the pipelines? So if you written the pipelines, what type of pipelines you have written? So there are two types of pipelines are available. So one is a declarative pipeline, another one is scripted pipeline. So declarative pipeline is a little bit easy when compared to scripted one. Okay, so scripted one mainly designed with Groovy language. Okay, so it contains like classes, functions, objects, variables. Okay, so it's a combination of like this classes, functions, objects, and variables will be there. So in the declarative pipeline, we have a scripting and Linux. So like that, we can have the declarative pipeline, scripted pipeline, both are the syntax will be same. But if you want to go with additional things, additional functionality, what we can do, so we can go with Groovy languages. So classes, function, if the same kind of a logic is required. So what we need to do, so we need to define the function. So same type of logical we are required for the multiple ways. So inside the pipeline, no need to define the entire logic in the pipeline. So what we will do, we will write the logic separately in separate file. Just we will call that file in our pipeline. Okay, so those things we are going to call it as a shared libraries. Okay, so what is meant by shared library? Same kind of a functionality if it is required in the multiple times. So we will develop one separate function here. So that function number we will include at the top of the pipeline and just will call the function of that pipeline. So those things we are going to call it as a shared library. Means this library was developed by some other teams. If you are having the interest, we can also develop our own libraries. Okay. So scripted pipeline is a little bit tough. Means tough is nothing but it's like a, if you are good at any programming language like a OOPS concept, if you know, so you can easily implement the object programming language, classes and objects, functions, variables, local variables and global variables. If you are able to do it, so we can easily implement these scripted pipelines. So when it comes to the declarative pipeline, the syntax will be look same, simple, and we can easily integrate any type of things. So if you don't know where to get the code and what need to be done, what need to use, so all these things will get from the here itself. Okay, so let us go to the 8080. Go to the login page. Admin. Okay, so when it comes to the new item, so pipeline, declarative, pipeline. So here we have one more option called pipeline jobs is there. Just to select that pipeline job. Okay, so the syntax and the way of looking up the freestyle project and pipeline is different. Okay, so if you write the pipeline script, you can write the script, entire script here itself. So it may be a declarative pipeline or scripted pipeline. You can write any one of the script here. So if you don't know how to write the script, so we can go with a sample examples here. They were providing the sample examples. Just you can take this one and try to copy this. Okay, and paste here. Okay, so the first line will be starts with pipeline agent. N is nothing but whenever you are seeing the keyword called agent is nothing but machine. So either you want to run in the master machine, either you want to run in the node machine. So the node machine will have the label name. So if you are passing the label name here, so this particular job will be running in that particular node machine. If you are not providing anything, so whichever the random one, which it will pick either master machine or the node machine, it will pick the label name and it will execute it. So in the current machine, we don't have any label node machines are there. So currently we have only master machine. So it will pick the master machine. Okay. So this syntax and all in the interview, they will ask is, can you write a sample pipeline for your project? Okay. So they will check the syntax for you. So pipeline, agent, stages, stage, steps. So inside the steps, we can perform. Under the steps, we have to write our logical part here. Okay, so if you want to include one more stage, just copy the stage value here. So how many stages you require? So you can write as many stages here. Okay, so this one we need to remember. If somebody asks in the real time scenario or in the interview ask it, so we need to remember the pipeline, node, stages, stage, steps. Okay, these 5 keywords we need to remember. So pipeline, we need to have it, node any, stages, stage, steps, like this. So we need to align this little bit properly. That's it. Okay, so if you see here, stages, under the stage, we need to provide the name. So except agent, so remaining all the steps, we have the pipeline, open bracket and close bracket. So for the ending of the steps, we need to put this one. So for the stage ending, we need to put this one. For the stages, we need to put like this. Okay. So for the pipeline, we need to put like this. So if you see, if you are highlighting, that is coming as the red color. So this is a starting line. This is ending line. This is starting line. This is ending line. This is starting line. This is ending line. Starting line. So if you want to align like this, just we will align properly. Okay. Like this. So in the interview, they will ask us to write the entire syntax for us. So we need to remember this entire syntax. Okay. So under the stage place, we have to write like this. So entire syntax we need to write in the interview. So first of all, pipeline node. So under the place node, if you pass the agent or the label name, so we can pass the label name like this. So last time we have created one label, right? So like this. Label name. If you don't know the any machine, so you can put any also file. Okay. So pipeline, node, stages, stage, step. So inside the steps, we have to write your logical part. So first of all, I want to check out the code. So my flow is like check out the code, building the code, scanning the code, testing the code, deploying the code. So how many steps I want it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps you want it. So 5 stages I want to put it, 5 stages we want to put. So in this message is echo hello world. If you want to put any version, we can make. So if you want to run any commands, I want to print the Maven version. So I want to print the Java version. Shell scripted related commands if you want to append it. So we need to pass sh. So this information where we will get it actually. So here, so there is a link here. Just click the pipeline syntax, open the link here. So here we have these many options are provided by the Jenkins. So based upon the requirement, so we can do here. Okay, suppose if you want to do the shell scripting related commands, what they are giving. Okay, shell scripting is the right side is the shell scripting. So if you want to include shell scripting, we need to use sh double quotes. So if you want to clone the code, so I want to get the git code. So what we will do, just we need to write the syntax here, sh. So in the double quotes or the single quotes, we can write the our thing. Okay, so this is a shell scripting related commands. If you want to perform any cloning ring, so I want to get the git one. So you can go to the search for the git here. So git any command is there, yes, git. Generate. So if you want to go with a master branch credentials none, so you can go with your repo URL, copy URL, okay, repository URL. Okay, so branch mesh generates. Okay, so this is the syntax. If you want to get the clone of your code, directly we can put here clone steps place like this. Okay, so like that one by one step based upon the requirement. So we need to get the default function from here. What is the name we need to use it here? That name we need to include here, and we need to perform all the stages. Okay, so if you want to clean up your workspaces, if you want to build a job, so if you want to clean the workspaces, so we need to pass this function here. Before cloning or taking the code, so I want to clean the workspace. So we can pass clean workspace like that. So first step is just I'm performing some shell scripting commands. Next thing is I'm doing the cloning the code. So let us do up to here. I'm reviewing the stages all here. Okay, so just we'll check here. So if everything syntax good, just copy it. Go to your job. So insert syntax place, we can write this. Okay, just nothing we are doing. So in the first stage, we are printing some hello world message, and we are getting the output of using shell scripting Java version, Maven version, Git version. So under the clone is the one stage we are using. Just we are cleaning the workspace and we are cloning the code. Just apply it, save it. Okay, click on build now. Okay, so like that is the pipeline symbol will come based upon how many stages we are writing it. So it will be So first stage name is hello, we maintained it. So hello, we are getting it. So in the second stage, we are putting as a clone. That's why we are getting the clone. Okay. So if you want to see the console output, just click on the click. Same thing, console output, we can see. Java version, Git version, Maven version. Echo hello world, we are doing it. So next thing is we are doing the workspace cleanup. So workspace cleanup also done. So next we are cloning the thing. So it has got cloned here. Okay. So cloning the repository we have given, it got success. So we will add one by one stage and we are going to do the entire process. Okay. So next thing is if you want to add one more stage, just go to this pipeline, go to the configure option. So if you want to perform any activity, so just if you want to build any job, another job you want to build it. So just project to be built. So you take any job, Java build job I want to build. This is the job name. Just to copy this. Okay. So this is the command build and the job name we need to pass it. So automatically that job also will be built through pipeline. Just we can copy it. We can perform build. So I want to use one more thing. I want to build the code. Just to take the one stage, copy the stage, clone. Next, clean. What I can do? Shell script, I can use it. Ambient clean. Okay. Same thing if you want to perform the build. Okay. So what I can do? I can take the thing clean. Compile and package. Install, compile, package. Okay, so everything we have done now. Control R, Control C. Go to your job. Apply, save it. Click on build now. Okay, now second build will be started. So the previously we have allow clone is there. Now we have added two more stages. Okay, so it is building one more job. That's the reason. See. So it's pending slave server is offline. Just we need to go to the configure. It is looking for the slave machine. So this we don't have it. Apply, save it. Now 15 job is triggering. So here it is taking time. Why? Because we are using the build job. Now it's running. Clone is running. Now clean is happening. Compile and package. Okay. Now you can see these naming conventions. We can put any name. So it is a user defined. User can define any name here. Okay. This name, this name. Okay. So this under the steps only we can perform our logical part. So whatever the logical part you want to performing it, so we can perform all the logical part here. Okay. So these are the supported things. Anything. So not only you can use the checkout option, also we can use it. Okay. So repository URL, you can take it. Okay. So. Okay. So like that also we can use the checkout option instead of using Git. Okay. What we can do? Checkout option. Okay. So checkout. SCM Git. Branches is master. Extensions we don't have. Remote configs we don't have. Only we are passing the URL like this. Okay. So if somebody asked about the checkout means we need to write this entire syntax. but we don't remember the syntax. So if you want to get it from, we need to get it from the correct syntax. If you want to get it, we need to use it. Okay. So next what we will do. So we will try this one. Okay. So we don't require building this job. We don't require. So what we will do, Control C, configure. Apply and save it. Okay. Just click on below. So based upon the requirement, we are going to update one by stage. So until build to the deployment, every stage we'll update it, and we are going to do the entire build process. Okay. So if any error comes, we need to check out the code. Okay. So you can see same thing. If you're using the checkout code also, same thing. Okay. Same thing. That option is same. So if you check out the code, or if you are using the Git, anything option you require it, you don't need to remember everything. So you will get it from the syntax itself. Delete the directory if you want to delete it. So just we need to delete directory. So if you don't know also, we can write it like this. Okay. Next thing is, so if you want to print email, text, error file exists. So if the file exists or not, in the current path, if you want to check it. So there is a predefined functions are there, like file exists. So you can provide the path, entire path. So where lib workspace, something you can give file path. Okay. So it will check for the file exist or not by using the file exist method. Okay. So if you can put if conditions or anything, if you are returning 0 or else, so we can return this value. Okay. So you can have n number of things, we can maintain it. So like this, execute in parallel. Okay. So if you want to execute 2 branches at a time parallelly, so you can use the parallel keyword. Okay. For example, this is the syntax. So if you want to execute branch 1, branch 2 at a time. Okay. So if something is missing out, so we can use the parallel keyword. So in the interview questions, they will ask it, I want to execute 2 branches at a time. So have you worked in the multi-branch pipeline? So multi-branch pipeline, if there's somebody asked in the interview questions or somebody, so multi-branch is nothing but 2 branches or more than 2 branches or more than 1 branches. So it comes under the multi-branch. Okay. So in that cases, what we can do? So we have to tell for the interview perspective, like we can use the parallel keyword, first branch, and also we can put the second branch here. So in the first branch, what steps you want to performing it, we can write here. Same thing if you want to perform over the second branch also, we can do the things. So if the fail fast, if anything is failed out, so either we need to pass true or false. If one of the fails also files, so if you want to keep on executing it, we can check it. Okay. So for example, if you want to do the same thing, so we can apply. Okay. So this is the, just we need to keep on adding the syntaxes. First branch name, we can specify master. Second branch name, if you're having any develop branch, so we can have the develop branch. So here we need to write our logical part. Okay, if any one of the branch failing, okay, so that branch we need to automatically true or false happens also, we can proceed. Okay, so in that cases, if multi-branch execution is happened, so we can go with a parallel. So based each functionality, we have a separate keywords are available. So based upon the requirement, we need to check it. Okay, so if you want to put any environment variable setups, you want to do it, overriding, or if you want to override any environment variables, something like Tomcat equal to 9090. Okay, so if you want to do it like this. So if you want to define any environment variable checking values, so like name equal to this one, if environment equal to test, if environment equal to DevOps, Like that, if you want to implement it, so with environment keyword, we can help us to define the environment variable checking. So these all terminologies are the important interview questions. Okay. So if you want to check environment variables, so that environment, this is a key, this is a value. Okay. So with environment. So if you want to write anything file to your workspace, so that write file, if you write what text you want to write it. So sample one, if you write it, you can write this. So write file is the keyword we need to use. So most of the interview questions, they will ask it if you want to run the multi-branch bins. So we need to use the panel keyword. So if you want to check any environment variables, so we are going to use with environment variable. With environment keyword, we need to use it to check any environment variable value, condition checking. Okay. So like that, we can do any type of a thing here. Workspace. Okay. So if you want to run in the particular workspaces, so that workspace name we need to give here. Okay. So like that. So anything if you want to get it, all the information will comes from here itself. The syntax will be, all the things will be waiting. Okay. So if you want to write any conditions, so how much time you want to spend it. Okay. So we need to use wait until keyword. So wait until keyword will help us to, so how many times or how many seconds you want to wait for the, so next task or next job or next branch you want to execute it. So I want to give a time gap between the both the things. In the cases, we need to use wait until. Okay. So if you don't know that thing, just we will go to it. Okay. Okay. So based upon the condition value, it's keep on condition. If wait until the condition is satisfied, then keep on executing. If it is returning false, it will try after this time. Okay. So like that. So if you want to sleep it, sleep is nothing but if you don't want to perform any action from one step to the other steps. If the build step is taking so much time, so don't want to run the deployment step. So you want to give certain gap between the one step to the other step or one stage to the other stage. So we can keep the job sleep mode. So that sleep information, we can put it time and unit. Okay. Time is nothing but how much time you require. So we can get the length of the time which the step will sleep out. Okay. So each and every terminology is very important in the scripted pipeline. So we need to use the exact syntax based upon the requirement. Okay. So here we can see it. And this is the scripted one, declarative one, we can write anything. So if you want to write this entire thing, instead of modifying every time in the job, I don't want to modify every time in the job. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to put everything into a file. Okay. There is one more option called pipeline script from SCCM. Okay. So there is a one more important file is there. So that file name is Jenkins file. So this Jenkins file, what it will do? So J should be caps always. So in this file also, this file should be always there in your source code management. So instead of opening the Jenkins jobs, instead of modifying every time, it is 100 lines, 200 lines of the pipeline script. So we can't modify it every time. So what we will do, we will modify every time in the local machine, this file, and we'll keep on pushing to the SCCM. Okay. So the file name should be always Jenkins file. So if you refer here in our source code, so we have one more file called Jenkins file. Okay, like this. So here also we can put the same thing. So hello message. I want to clean the workspaces. So I want to clone the code. I want to clean the code. I want to compile it. I want to package. So these are all the stages we are maintaining in a different stages. So we can just copy it. If you know the syntax of one thing, we can do it. So if they are asked to do some other condition checking, just we need to come to here pipeline syntax and we can generate the things. Okay. We have other things also. Okay. So if you want to get the stage, what are the stage name? Test. Okay. If you don't know about the declarative pipeline stages and steps, everything. So there also they will do the things. Okay. So if you want any parameters, if you want to add any parameters. So we can use the parameters keyword. Okay, so everything is the documentation is there. Just we need to so choose parameters. Okay, environment I want to use it. Okay, choices, dev environment, SIT, UAT, production. So this we have seen in the build with parameters option, we have seen it. Same thing I want to use in the scripted pipeline or declarative pipeline. So generate pipeline script. Okay, so the parameters like this. Choice, choices. So these are 4 options are available here. So with the name environment. If condition, what we need to put? If environment equal to particular thing, then we need to proceed something. Okay. So those type of things, parameters also, if you want to define it, so we can define the parameters like this. So lots of options are available. So based upon the requirement, just we need to use the trigger when condition. Okay, when condition. Okay, so execute the stage if the nested is true, build tag branch. Okay, the branch is okay. So when condition, when branch equal to master, then end execute it. Okay, so like that when condition. So lots of options are available in the pipeline jobs. Everything we need to put in the here. Based upon the requirement, we keep on adding which stage you want to perform what activity. So just we need to add in the stage steps. Okay, same thing we can apply in the Jenkins file also. Just we will add in the Jenkins file. So we will provide that thing in the Git URL and we will tell that URL details. Take this URL. So wherever your Jenkins file path is there, just provide your Jenkins URL. It is in the master branch. So it is look for your Jenkins file. Okay, so Jenkins file currently at the root path is there. So if any different path is there, so we need to provide the entire path. Okay, slash something, any folder is there. So we need to provide the entire folder. We can apply it and save it. Okay, same thing we can apply the build now. See, one by one stage automatically exits. So if you pass anything wrong in the particular stage, for example, here is there. So here we are using the Jenkins file. So if you pass something wrong here, what will happen? It will throw an error for us. Just edit this file. So clean workspace is there. Just I'm putting W. I'm removing S. Commit the changes. I'm passing again. I'm building the file. Okay, you can see we got error. So whenever error got in the hello stage, so just we have the logs for each and everything. Okay, so it got failed here. We will get the logs of this file. So we can see the logs. Okay, so next message we will see the logs. Otherwise, we need to go to the 5th one. Go to the console. Okay, so you are able to see the. So no such DSL method is there. W space found among step is either you want to use archive, bad, build, catcher, or checkout. So these are the functions are available here. So which function you want to use it? That clean W is not available. So you need to choose from the W, this one. Okay, so available is these things, but you are using the wrong thing. That provided value is not there in the current list, which is provided by the Jenkins. If you want to see which one you want to pass it, so these are the things we can support it in the Jenkins. Okay, so like that. Okay, So these all are file exist. We already see is Unix is there. So if you want to see that this one scripted where you want to use it, so just we'll go to the pipeline syntax. Okay, so in the declarative one, we have seen the stages we have seen. We don't see the scripted one. Because scripted generator, you can see anything like a scripted here. We don't see, we have a script. Okay, like this. Okay, so the script has not defined any visual configurations. Just if you want to perform any scripting, just we will use a script. Okay, so like that, it will be supported these many things. So based upon the requirement, we need to use it. Okay, file exists. Okay, and one change or clean before checkout, cron job. If you want to run the cron job, it's cron. So environment variables definitions. Okay, so if you want to zip the files, agent, stage, sleep, sh, script, retry. So everything information will be available here. So based upon that, we need to use it. Okay, so if you want to include any tool here. Okay, so which tool you want to include it? So I want to include the Maven tool. So Maven tool, I don't have any version here. So just we'll see the syntax. Okay, tool name type is Maven. Same thing if you want to go with another tool, JDK, default. So this is the syntax for using your tools. Already if the tool is global tool configuration will be there. If the tool is already configured, so we can use the tool or the specific versions also we can use it here. So like that, if you want to include the PowerShell, so we can write the script here, PowerShell script. So we can include it. So if you don't know, just we need to use the PowerShell keyword. So if you want to run any PowerShell command, so in the double quotes, we need to run that PowerShell command. So like that, these many supported are there. So we need to know the each and every syntax and we need to perform. So first of all, we need to understand the requirement. So which one we need to use for which one, like that. Okay. So any doubts in this part? Declarative pipeline, guys. Any doubts, any questions? Shika and Anand.
Sir, no, sir.
Okay. Okay, so here declarative pipeline is like little bit easy. We have a direct functions are there. Just we need to update the few values. So when comes to the when comes to the scripted one, it is a little bit tough, difficult here to implement it because scripted pipeline completely deals with your classes, objects, creating object, next to variables, okay, functions. Same like hoops concept, how we are defining it. Same thing also we can use the scripted pipeline also. Scripted pipeline also we can use the same thing also. Okay. So if you see one more project here for me. Okay. So here also we can use the Jenkins file. So here you can see the syntax. Okay. So here import is nothing but, so if you are anything background about Java thing, so this is nothing but they have defined the pom.xml. So this is the folder one. This is a class name, sample class, global variable, the class, and they are using the my library thing. Okay. So here you can see this is a function name. They're passing the variable to the function. So here this is a class name. They're creating an object. So they are assigning the values and they are printing the values. So if you want to call the same kind of thing, how it will be looks like. So if you open the same thing in another link, okay. So we are defining the where's keyword. So one file is there. So that extension of the file is always groovy in the scripted pipeline. So here we can see. So if you are defining any function in the only one function, if you are calling it, so inside the function we will use if call. Okay, in the scripted pipeline, if you are defining any functions, so we are going to define using the diff call, and whatever the file name we are using for this one, so that file name will consider as a function name here. So automatically it will call this entire logic here. So same thing you can see here. Say hello. So my file name is say hello.groovy. So say hello.groovy is the file name. So I'm calling that say hello file. So here I'm expecting string name. It's a human. I want to override this, calling this particular function. I want to do it. What it is doing currently. Okay, so it is printing one message, just what it is on a simple function. Just we are passing a string as a name and we are passing human here. So if we call this function directly, it will call this name human. So if we want to override this one, so what we need to do, same function will call it. So instead of the human name, we will pass the dynamic value here. So same thing if you want to call through the like same type of, if you have 100 lines of function logic is there. So 100 lines of logic we will not write in the pipeline. Okay, so what we will do, so we will not define the entire logic in here. So what we will do in the scripted pipeline, so we are going to define the functions. So as we told, so we have a functions, variables, objects, classes. So if we define the functions means we can define the function by using the diff call. So we can pass arguments and without arguments also we can do it. So whatever the name we are giving, something like DevOps.groovy, if we are giving the file name. So we are going to call this DevOps here. So DevOps is the name, we are going to call it like this. That's it. So if you are passing any arguments like this, name equal to test, port equal to 8080. So if you want to override this, so we will pass. Okay. So name equal to, instead of test, what we will do? So we will pass something like a. Okay. So we are not writing the entire logic in the Jenkins file. So what we will do? So we will write the logic in a separate function and we will give one name to the function. So whatever this one is there, just we will import here. We will import that and we will call that one. Okay. Okay. So what we will do, we will write the functional logic in a separate file, whatever the name we are giving it. So that name we are calling. Same thing. Script here is the keyword we have used it. So if you want to write any logical part, what we are using script. So where this sample class is coming, you can see sample class is there. I'm opening the tab in one more thing. Yeah. Source, com, clever builder. These many files I'm using. The extension of the file should be .groovy. Okay. So one is say hello.groovy, same thing. So user bin environment, groovy, we need to use it. And we are calling the function name here. And one more thing is variables definition. So here the package name is com clever builder. So I'm using one class name is a global variables class. So here I'm defining a one static variable who the values. Same thing if you want to include that one, what we were doing. So whatever the file name is there. Global variables is there. So we have included global variables. Okay. So here. So if you want to call this variable, what we need to do? So we are going to import this file name here. So we have imported that file name. So what are the file name is there with that file name? So what are the variable name is there? So we are calling that variable name. This is the way to call the global variables inside the pipeline. So we are defining the one class name. So the class name is this one, and also the file name and the class name both are same. You see, global variables and plus global variables. So this one we are included here and we are calling the variable. Okay, so this is the function calling, this is a variable calling. Same thing, one more example here. So if you go to the sample class graduate group. Okay, so what we are doing? So here we are doing the class. We are defining two variables. Again, we are defining one function here. So diff function name, user can define any function here. So increase age is it. So I'm passing the years, integer years, but this keyword is not there here. So this dot age will be the years of this one. So what we are doing it, so we are creating here and we are assigning the value age and whatever the sample class is there. So we have created the object for it. So from the object, we are calling the function name. What is the function name? Increase age. So it is expecting the years. So that years value we are passing. Okay. So we can create a classes, we can create objects, we can call the functions. We can also define the global variables and we can include it. So Groovy script is completely deals with the classes, functions, objects, and methods. So if you want to work with a scripted pipeline, so we need to define the Groovy file separately. So if you are basically from the Java background or any programming language, you use it, but the way of the syntax should be like this. Okay. Same thing if you want to call these things. So we need to go to our dashboard. So first of all, we need to do some setting here, manage Jenkins. Okay, so configure system. Okay, so come to here, wherever you see timestamper, fingerprints, global server, GitHub. So global pipeline libraries. Okay, so this pipeline libraries, when you are using it, so we can add our library name. Okay, whatever the library name we are using it, so that library name will be. Okay, so library name is my library. Okay, so default version, modern SSM, default version we can go with. So whatever the branch you are doing it, just to save it a master. Okay. Okay, so your repository URL, we need to mention it. So this is my repository URL. Copy it. Go to here. That's it. Okay, so just apply it, save it. Okay, so it got applied. So now we'll go to the dashboard. Click on new item, scripted pipeline. Okay, so go to the pipeline. Okay, go to the pipeline action. So here, pipeline SCF from SCM, we will use it. So we will take this code. Okay, git project repository URL, nothing. Okay, so the master batch, same thing. We will apply, now save it. Okay, okay, so the build is success now. You can see the first build got success. When you see here, so what are the output we are expected? So now you can see. So running on the file. So you can see welcome to Mr. Ramesh. So what in the pipeline, what we have passed it. So everything is working fine. Jenkins file, if you see the thing, say hello, Ramesh we are passing. So whatever the Ramesh folder is there, so com builder, hello, that name. Okay, so same name we are getting here. Okay, same thing, global variable age. So three things we have here. First is the message one. Okay, say hello, where is there? So go to that, say hello. This one. Okay. So wherever the human is there, so we are overriding with Ramesh. So that message is coming. Hello, welcome to world, Mr. Session, Ramesh. Okay, the function is able to call it. Same thing if you want to call the variable also. So variable also it is calling it. Global variable that foo value. So if you see the global variable and foo value, bar. Okay, so you can see the bar value. Same thing if you are passing anything, increment age value, it's calling out. So same thing, we have one more thing, class and function. So we can go to the here. So we are calling the increase age. So in the pipeline script, what we are passing out, we need to check it. We are passing age is 21. That age only we are passing here. So that person that age we are calling it. So that person that age is 21. So we are printing like this 21 plus 31. Which one is that one? 21 plus we are using 31. Okay. So like that we can do it, guys. Okay. So declarative pipeline, scripted pipeline syntax will be same only. But when it comes to the scripted pipeline, you need to use the classes, object functions, and all these things. So entire things we can use it in the folders, like we can create the vars. So we can create a .groovy scripts, we can create a classes, functions, and objects, and we can call this all these things in your pipeline. Okay, like this. So this is the example of scripted pipeline, guys. So hope you understand. Understood, guys? Declarative versus scripted.
Yes, sir.
So try to practice, guys, because in the interview perspective or in the real-time scenarios, you will be most of the things are working on the declarative or scripted pipeline. So if you don't know the syntax or how to, if you see the file, Jenkins file, you will be little bit confused. Okay. So we need to know each and everything what they have written existent pipeline. So what each and every stage, what exactly this Git will do, what SH will do. So what clean SW will do. Okay. So that we need to.
Sir, hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, I don't know like why pipeline is called used. Like I don't know what is the concept behind the pipelines. Like why is being is used? Like it's like a programming language like Java.
Not Java, it's a Groovy language. It's a Groovy script. So Groovy script is nothing but it's like a classes, files, and functions is there. So here, instead of writing the separate jobs, what they were doing, so they want to see it like this. So entire builder to the deployment, they want to maintain as a stages. So if you have a high-end complexity is there, so connecting it, fetching the data, reading it, assigning the variables. So those type of things, if you have a logical part, so no need to write the pipeline here. No need to write the entire thing in the pipeline steps. So what they have considered it, they are going to go with a like this classes and functions.
Okay.
Okay, so this pipeline is nothing but like if you see any pipeline examples, so they want to go with the entire flow with the stages wise. Like this. So all the stages, it contains your entire pipeline of your DevOps activities. So from check out the code to the deploying the code into the various environments, all the things we need to perform in this Jenkins job only. Just if you trigger the job, automatically it should deploy into the all the environments. So like that, we need to configure the job. So all the things we are going to consider in the stages, and each stage we have the steps are there. So we need to do Docker thing or Kubernetes thing, Ansible, anything you are doing it. So all the things we are going to performing in the stages, these steps on logical part. One by one step we need to do it.
Okay.
Okay. So this is very important, guys. If you miss this one, if you don't practice this pipeline jobs, so you will face a lot of difficulty in the real time. Okay. So pipeline jobs are very important. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Tomorrow we will see something like Artifactory tools, and in Sonar Cubes we will see it. Then we will finish the Jenkins case. Okay. Chalo. Bye guys. Thanks for joining.
Okay. Thank you, sir.